Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a tarot reading on the future of Ukraine. And as you all know, the news is packed every single day with all this propaganda and all this talk about peace talks between Russia and the United States deciding the future of Ukraine. Look, I'm not here to cheerlead or wave flags. I've seen enough political theater in my life to know that this is just another act, the same old show. And we're the audience, sitting back here, eating popcorn and eggs, overpriced eggs. Well, not me, I don't eat eggs or meat, but you get the idea. Everything is becoming a commodity, even common sense. So first things first, these talks, let's not kid ourselves. While Trump and Putin are playing geopolitical chess, Ukraine's not even at the table. Classic. The countries that's actually being bombed and invaded is somehow a spectator of its own fate. Nothing says sovereignty like being negotiated over like a pawn on a board you're not invited to. Listen, I grew up in the 80s in Puerto Rico, and I remember watching the US and Russia flex their muscles over smaller countries. In Central America, for example, we had Nicaragua, El Salvador, Panama, you name it. I've seen this movie before. It was bad then. It's not getting any better in HD. The same script, different actors. Except now, instead of grainy news footage, we've got high-definition drone strikes and AI-generated propaganda. Now, let's be real. This isn't about democracy, freedom, or whatever noble cause they're slapping on the press releases. This is really old-school imperialism. Let's call it as it is. Putin wants more. He wants his empire back, really. Plain and simple. He's not hiding it. He's just doing what every Russian leader has done for centuries. Push the borders as far as they'll go before someone stops him. Trump, on the other hand, wants a deal. Something he can slap a bumper sticker for the next rally. Doesn't matter if it works long term, just as long as it sounds good for now. And who knows what other deals he has with Putin under the table. Let's be real, he's a businessman. And the rest of us, we're just supposed to nod along like it's not about oil, rare minerals, or egos. This is just classic imperialism. I'm not buying the hype on either side. This is not about the sanctimony about saving democracy or the based nonsense that it's all about a strongman savior. None of that. And if you think this is only about Ukraine, think again. The ripple effect is already hitting Europe. Rising energy costs, strained alliances, and military budgets skyrocketing. It's looking more like 1939 than anyone wants to admit. At the UN, the US delegation just voted alongside its sworn adversaries that Russia indeed did not invade Ukraine or that it was not the aggressor. What does that mean? Is this a new world order? Shifting alliances? Whatever it is, history is telling us that when superpowers start shaking hands in unexpected ways, smaller nations should brace themselves. And if Ukraine falls, expect more refugees, more economic instability, and Europe scrambling for alternatives while Russia locks down resources. Now, don't get me wrong. I really hope a peace deal is reached, that lives are spared, and tensions cool down. I really hope the world is a better place, whatever it takes. Now, if you keep believing the media manipulation factory, you might as well be reading tea leaves at this point. So, let's do something better. Why not ask the tarot and see what the cards have to say? At least the cards don't have any corporate sponsors. And today I'm going to be using Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas, my own deck published by US Games. Okay, we're gonna draw the first card. Justice. Major Arcana number 8, Justice. 7 of Wands, or 7 of Staffs, and that is the Monsignor Romero from El Salvador. I was talking about El Salvador. Look how interesting. And we have the Knight of Coins, or Knight of Pentacles, with George Washington there riding a white horse. Let's interpret these cards, shall we? And here we go. Here's Justice. Well, this is interesting. It's about karma, accountability, and consequences. It's the cosmic scale tipper. What's fair, what's owed, what's inevitable. In this context, it tells me there's no escaping the reckoning. Every action in this war has its reaction. No one involved, not Russia, not Ukraine, not the US, not NATO, is walking away without some kind of cost. There are debts to be paid, whether that's in resources, power, or sadly, human lives. It also suggests that a major legal or diplomatic decision is on the horizon. Maybe a formal agreement, a war crimes trial, or a political maneuver that alters the course of this whole mess. But one thing's for sure, the illusion of moral high ground is fading. The truth, no matter how inconvenient, is coming to light. Then you have the 7 of Wands. In this card, things get a little messy. The 7 of Wands is the card of defiance, resistance. That's why I depicted a Monsignor Romero, Arnulfo Romero from El Salvador. He was a very active priest that was really working in favor of the poor in a time of civil unrest and war. And he was a figure of defiance, resistance, standing your ground, standing against overwhelming odds, against injustice. This is clearly Ukraine's position, fighting tooth and nail to hold on, even as the world starts losing interest. But it could also be a message for Putin, doubling down as he faces internal and external pressure. Or even the US, trying to maintain its role as the global puppet master while the stage is getting too crowded. This card tells me the conflict isn't over. Not by a long shot. The so-called peace talks aren't leading to a smooth resolution. If anything, they might just be a pause before the next major escalation. Sad to say that. At least that's what this card is telling me. The third card is the Knight of Coins. I've had this same card show up again and again, interestingly enough, whenever I do a Trump reading. There must be a resounding or a resonating message here that keeps the cards want to tell me something about this guy. And of course we have a US president here, George Washington, which is very iconic to the dollar sign. It's all about money. This is a wild card in this reading, as it is a slow, methodical, long-term strategist. He's not about flashy victories, he's about persistence, endurance, and playing the long game. This tells me two things. There's no quick fix here. If anyone thought this war was wrapping up neatly in 2025, they're in for a reality check. The conflict is shifting into a prolonged economic and territorial grind. Someone, whether a nation, a leader, or a hidden player, is quietly working behind the scenes, making calculated moves that won't be obvious until much later. Maybe Russia is consolidating resources. Maybe the US is maneuvering the economic leverage. Maybe Ukraine restructuring its defense for a longer fight. But whoever this knight represents, they're playing for keeps. Final thoughts. What does this really mean? So, what are these cards telling us? Justice? The war's past actions are catching up. A major decision is coming. No one walks away clean. 7 of Wands. Well, the fight continues. No easy surrender, no smooth transition or to peace. And Knight of Coins, this isn't ending quickly. A long grinding phase is ahead. A strategic player and strategic players are setting up for a war of attrition. Translation: the peace talks are a formality, a smoke and mirrors show, to keep the public hopeful while the real game is being played behind the scenes. The war isn't ending soon, it's just shifting into its next phase. And if history is any indicator, the people who suffer the most are the ones who have the least to say in the matter. I'm sad to do a reading like this. It's not much of an optimistic read, but it's what the cards are telling me here. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a painter here, reading tarot cards for YouTube. Who knows what's going to happen? I really hope for the best. It's hard to say, but those are the insights, or at least what the cards are telling me. Take it with a grain of salt. But as I always say, may the gods, muses, angels, whatever you want to call these cosmic, timeless archetypes, be your guides and inspiration. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you very much for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Also, check out the video on the screen right now for more insights and inspiration. Your support means everything to me and helps this channel grow. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.